What's going on, guys? JSGC here, and we are here for another Manchester City video. Today we're going to be doing another Manchester City transfer update. So before I do crack on with this video, make sure, like always, if you are enjoying the content, then do subscribe to my channel. We are now less than 400 subs away from my aim of 34,000 subscribers. So any help towards that would be great. Remember, I'm rolling out daily Manchester City transfer updates throughout the remainder of the January transfer window, and I'll also be returning the series for the summer and all the bits in between as well, with all the latest Manchester City transfer content. So if you haven't already, do subscribe. Social media links, they're in the description if you want to go and follow me on my Twitter, Instagram and TikTok. Email also in the description too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business inquiries. Don't forget as well to leave a thumbs up. 300 likes is the aim, and do get your thoughts as well in the comments below. So we're going to start this video off by speaking about the ins. We've got no out news, we've got no contract news, we've only got one story to speak about, and it's all about Alphonso Davies over at Bayern Munich. Now, Ryan Taylor at the Daily Mirror, very interested in this, has said that Manchester City, Chelsea and Real Madrid are all keeping their eye on Alphonso Davies at Bayern Munich. Contract situation, it's up in 2025. He still hasn't signed a new deal at Bayern Munich, and apparently talks aren't going too well. There's a bit of a breakdown when it comes to figures. Bayern Munich apparently willing to offer around £8.5 million a year in wages to Alphonso Davies, whereas Davies is looking for around £11 million a year. So that's the situation that we're looking at. Now, having a look at Alphonso Davies himself, he is a versatile player. He would be a very good fit for Manchester City. He plays in a wide defensive position, so left back, left wing back. On that left-hand side, very similar to Joško Gvardiol pretty much when you see him play on the left-hand side, whereas Joško Gvardiol likes to go more he can play as a centre-back, of course, whereas Alphonso Davies does predominantly stick out wide. He can also go through the middle. It isn't uncommon to see him go through the centre, but you tend to see him go more into midfield rather than into defence, which I think is something that would appeal to Manchester City, would appeal to Pep Guardiola. He likes his versatile players. He likes his players that are able to do 2 or 3 different positions and 2 or 3 jobs from within the team. So I think that would appeal to Manchester City. So this is very much a name that I like, and very much a name that I think makes sense for Manchester City. Now, normally, Alphonso Davies, his statistics, normally absolutely spot on the money. He's a very good player. This season, 1 goal, 3 assists in just under 30 games for Bayern Munich. He hasn't hit his usual high standards. Maybe that's down to his contract situation and feeling a little bit more unsettled than what he normally would if he didn't have such a short length on his contract, because once we get to the summer, so this would be a summer transfer rather than a January transfer, then you're looking at less than 12 months left on his contract. That means that Bayern Munich don't have any wiggle room when it comes to negotiations. It means that if Manchester City did want to sign Alphonso Davies, we'd be able to sign him for a more affordable price than what you would normally get for a player who's 23 years old, an international player, a sensational player like what Alphonso Davies is. So to me, it is very much a transfer that would make sense. Now, the only doubt I have when it comes to this transfer is, in particular with this article that's come out from Ryan Taylor at the Daily Mirror, is just how much emphasis is in the article and on the demands of Alphonso Davies. This, to me, sounds very much like a money-orientated decision that is being put out there. There's too much emphasis on the demands of the wage and the money that he's looking to get. Now, I get that football players, it's their profession, it's their job, and the way that the football profession is you do very well, you get rewarded for that, you get bonuses, you get a higher wage, you work your way up through the wage structure, etc, etc. But when you get to the creme de la creme, you get to the very top clubs and you get right to the top of their pay scale, they have a budget that they have to meet. And sometimes, I mean, you're seeing it a lot with financial fair play. You're seeing it at Newcastle. It becomes very hard to balance the books. Sometimes it's easier to let players go, your top players go, so you can improve on your squad depth, and vice versa. Sometimes you can stretch your squad very thin, so you're able to pay more for the top earners, which is what Manchester City do, which is why our squad isn't as big, because there's lots of big earners at Manchester City. But you allow one or two players to leave, all of a sudden it frees up a bit of room for a quality player to come in, and that's what I suspect will happen at Manchester City. You know, Calvin Phillips could leave Manchester City in the summer. There's £135,000 a week eased off the wage bill. Bernardo Silva has a release clause. There's what, another £300,000 a week in wages taken off the wage bill as well. It frees up the space there for Manchester City to go out there, to add some players to their wage bill, to their wage structure. They don't always have to be the biggest and best names. They have done that before. Erling Haaland, for example, is the biggest example that we've got, that comes in and goes right to the top of the pay structure, because that's the only way we're going to get a player of the quality of Erling Haaland into the club. So you try and make the money make sense from other positions through squad players. You know, Mateus Nunes, Mateo Kovacic that's come into Manchester City. These are two players that aren't on as much of a wage as what you would if you was to go out there and sign a Jude Bellingham, for example. So it's all about weighing up the books and balancing it out and making sure you're hitting the right number. And at Bayern Munich, it's so difficult. There isn't Premier League money there. There isn't, you know, all the TV revenue that you get for the Premier League team. So it becomes a little bit easier for the Premier League teams to go out there and bring players in and pay them a wage that's better than that of what's at Bayern Munich. I mean, the speaks volume to me that there are clubs in the Premier League, you know, your Fulhams, your Evertons, for example, who are able to pay players just as much as what you are prestigious clubs like Bayern Munich, for example. So there's a lot of money there, and you've got to find the right balance. And I just feel like there's this transfer here, there's just so much being put on for the wage. It's very clear that Alphonso Davies sees himself as a player that deserves to be on more than £8.5 million a year, and he wants a wage to reflect his importance to Bayern Munich. Are they going to pay it? Can they afford it? Will they have to balance the books and let a player go to put a player onto a new contract? Because if you can't, it all of a sudden opens the eyes of everybody else. That's why Chelsea are getting linked with one of the best players at Bayern Munich. Even though Chelsea probably aren't going to be able to offer Champions League football next season, they can offer Alphonso Davies a lot of money. So can Manchester City, so can Real Madrid as well. And what I'm not hearing a lot of when it comes to Alphonso Davies is Alphonso Davies saying, I want to sign for Manchester City. I want to work for Pep Guardiola. I want to win all these trophies. I want to be successful. All I'm hearing here is, I want to be on £11 million a year, not £8.5 million a year. So if that's his motivation and that's his emphasis here in potentially seeking a move away from Bayern Munich, I don't think Manchester City will be the club for him. So I have doubts on this transfer. But if he does communicate that to Manchester City, so his agent sits down and says, I want to sign for Manchester City, I'm not interested in a move to Chelsea, I don't want to sign for Real Madrid, I want to work with Pep, I want to play for Manchester City, then words get spoken. I guarantee you right now, Manchester City will be interested, and Manchester City will want to make that transfer happen. Why? Because there aren't many players out there that improve a first-team squad that are of the quality and the calibre of Alphonso Davies. And left-backs and left-wing-backs could well be a position that Manchester City choose to invest in and choose to add to their squad in the summer. I'm almost certain that at least one wide defensive player will be added to the City squad. It would be a great bonus if we could find a player that can play both on the left and on the right-hand side. What are Manchester City going to do? Something for me to keep my eyes and ears open for. So, to the comments. Alphonso Davies to Manchester City, yay or nay? Let me know in the comments below. Don't forget to leave a thumbs up. 300 likes is the aim. Do subscribe if you're new around here. Daily Manchester City transfer updates coming throughout the rest of January for you guys to enjoy. Less than 400 subs away from 34k. Can we have a big push towards the end of this month to see if we can hit that? Any help towards that would be great. It is free to subscribe. And remember, daily Manchester City transfer updates, they will be back from June for you guys to look forward to for the summer transfer window. Going to be a big summer for Manchester City. Also, don't forget social media links. They're in the description if you want to go and follow me on my Twitter, Instagram and TikTok. Email also in the description too if you want to hit me up for any sponsorships for any videos or any general business inquiries. And I'll see you guys again tomorrow religiously for the next daily Manchester City transfer update. So I've been JSGC. Thank you everyone for watching. I hope everyone is safe and well. Peace. Ciao for now.